All righty, welcome everybody. Welcome to this fourth episode of the Spin Zone. And in the house tonight, we've got Mr. Steve Rodriguez, also known as the El Federale. He is co hosting in the chair tonight. It's Steve, it's been a long time. You've been playing hooky. It's time you came back.
Well, Dan, sometimes you have to do things that you have to do, and work is one of them to provide for the family. And remember what they say: you have to work, work, work,
Well, they
and
told me
play, play,
you
play.
they told me that you hit the lottery. So, I don't know
I
which
wish
lottery.
I had hit the lottery. I don't live in Florida, so no, it wasn't me.
You mean you didn't buy lottery tickets from the other podcasters that were selling them by the hundreds?
No, 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 no. Sorry, no, 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 no. I won't say I didn't buy them for me. I bought them for me, but I didn't go with anybody else.
Well, I have always been very skeptical about the lottery pools. I remember when I used to work at a physical site. They used to run these lottery pools. So when the money got when the jackpot got a certain amount, well, they started grouping. They started selling tickets together. And
Yep.
my thing was, what legal mechanism do you really have to force the person that buys the ticket to share the proceeds with you, whether you hit the jackpot or anything less than the jackpot? You know, I mean, they used to make copies, at the copier, and give everybody the things of the tickets. But at the end of the day, who's to say that they'll honor that? So I don't participate in lottery pools, to be honest with you. You know, just because of that fear. Because it would suck if you participate in a lottery pool, and then the guy that bought the tickets decided to go off to the Bahamas and screw the rest of everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it has happened before.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Well, as you know, we started this show back a couple of weeks ago, and we've been looking at the Dallas Cowboys, and primarily, they've been in training camp for the last three
You
weeks.
mean America's team?
America's team, that's right.
All
And like
right,
I
all
said,
right, all right. Make sure you get it right.
not only are they America's team, but they're also God's team. They used to
There we
say that.
go. All right.
They used to say
Huh?
that in the old Texas stadium, when they had the hole in the middle of the stadium, that God used to watch His team all the time. You know,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Unfortunately,
sir. That's what
I
it
don't know.
is.
I think the AT&T stadium is retractable at times, right?
I've heard it is, and I heard it isn't. So I'm not sure. I still haven't been to the AT&T Stadium. How about you?
No, I haven't. I'm too poor. I
You
can't
know,
afford the tickets
I'm
right
not.
now.
I'm not. I just can't afford it.
Well,
All right.
out of
You,
curiosity, I did go and check out, what was available in tickets, and I will tell you that if you want to go, you're not going to find many tickets available. At least I didn't see any. So I think you have to get those like pretty early, like before the
and what
season.
price range do you remember?
Well, these because they were in the sucky seats. They were like two, three, $400, something like that. I can't remember
No,
the price.
just pocket change for you, right? Huh?
Well,
Huh?
I don't have that kind of money. Wish I did.
Hey,
You know.
what is it? Swipe now and pay later.
No, no. The problem with me is that I can't swipe anymore because I have no credit limits to swipe. So
Swiper no more swiping or
there's
what?
no more swiping, which is a good thing, by the way. I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So, but
Yes, sir. Yes,
anyway,
sir. Yes, sir.
so they've been on training camp, and as you know, tomorrow is the first preseason game. There's actually only three. And so, as you know, the preseason game is an opportunity for these young bucks that were either drafted or signed up to actually prove themselves. We already know that there are some that are pretty much solid. They've got the job, so to
Yes.
speak. But they have to come down to 53 men. I think right now they're in the 90s, so they've got to come
Mm-hmm.
down. And so we're going to go ahead and look at what to expect. And there's
Well,
Hash
I got
Brown.
one of them right here. I got one of them right here. He wants to be a Dallas Cowboy for life.
Plus, you got to get him one of those expensive sweaters at
Why does
PetSmart.
it have to be expensive, huh?
Well, because he's
Man.
your boy,
Eh?
you know.
Hey. No, 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 no. Right, Hashram? Hey. So, uh, what what are we gonna start on?
Well, first of all, we want to before we start, we want to actually wish a happy birthday to the Space Cowboy. He's not
The
on.
Space Cowboy.
That's right. The Space Cowboy is not in today uh, because it's his birthday. He's actually 50 years old today.
Ooh, happy birthday, Mr. Space Cowboy.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I
His
hope he's enjoying wherever he's at.
I hope so. I hope so. He needs a break every once in a while. So, all right. So we're going to go through a few slides and we're going to look at a few slides here in a second. Just let me get the screen up. Give me one
That's what she
second.
said.
Oh, God. Now. It's a family show. Remember that.
Oh, I apologize.
It's a family show. All right. Hold on. So, how do I do this? Oh,
Hey,
I,
if you don't know,
I know, right? All right. So, let me go ahead. There we go. All right. So,
I
basically,
don't see anything. There we go. All
yeah.
right.
Now, your camera went out, by the way.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. It's you.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
You sure?
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I know what I did. Hold on.
See, I think the Space Cowboy had something to do with this.
No, but the Space
There we go.
Cowboy's too busy. There we go. Hold on. Let me get there. Give me a second.
There you go.
Yeah. It's just I actually need a third screen, by the way. That's what the issue is. All
Oh.
right. So if I don't know if you saw this earlier this week.
I was meaning to talk to you about this, okay? So,
Yeah.
what an official NFL Dallas Cowboy number 11 Parsons jersey.
Right.
In order to enter, right, how do I do that? Can you walk me through that?
I can. Let me go ahead and pull up my trusty Android phone for a second. Give me a second.
Android phone. I don't have an Android phone.
Well, you don't need an Android phone. You just need a
All
phone.
right.
You need a
All right.
phone that's not a flip phone. How about that? You know.
Sorry. You
Hold on.
mother?
Let me go ahead and pull up Facebook here for a second on my phone, and then I'll put it up on the screen. Let's see. Okay, so let's go and flip over. Where am I? Here we go.
So, Micah Parsons. You already have that jersey or what?
Well, we'll talk about how the process is going to work.
All right.
All right, give me a second. So basically, we're going to go over to. I'm on Facebook on my phone, and we're going to go over to Brownsville Tech Live. And there's a couple of ways that you can do this, by the way, and I'll go through most of these. Um, Let me go find the posting. Oh, there it is. Hold on. So basically, what it is in the posting that I did back on Wednesday, I provided a link, and it's highlighted
All
right
right.
there. It's through Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a donation service that we subscribe to, and basically there it allows people to make donations in general, and they can use their debit card or credit card. So when they go to Ko-fi, it redirects them to the Brownsville Tech Live account in Ko-fi, and there's a donate button right there. So when you click on the donate button, it automatically flood fills the amount, like $5. So all they've got to do is leave it at $5. Then they just got to key in their name, and in the message section, they need to put in what their shirt size is. If they don't put a
Oh.
shirt size and they don't put their full name, it's invalid and their money will be returned. So,
What?
uh, yeah, yeah, because you know, what are we gonna do? Oh, and also their email address in the message section, so we can communicate back and forth. And basically, they hit the donate button, and then on March 10th, it's March 10th, September
March
10th.
10th.
I know I'm way ahead of myself, or yeah, next year. No, on September 10th, on game one of the season opener, we're going to do a drawing for everybody that entered. And then once we find out who the winner is, then we will order the shirt in their size with
Mm.
with their with whoever the player is. Now, right now we're looking at number 11, Micah Parsons, but we will opt to do a number 4, which is Dak Prescott. We'll also do a Pollard and a CD Lamb. So there'll be 4 choices. We're going to be updating this to provide up to 4 choices. So
Can I make a suggestion?
yeah,
Why not go to the local Dallas Cowboy store if the person is local? Eh?
because where we're getting it for a reduced amount. That's why.
Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
yeah.
Understood.
And of course,
Uh,
for $5, you know these
right.
these things
Hey.
go for $126. 5 bucks, it's a steal. It literally is. I mean,
Uh
it's
huh.
perfect.
The salute to service. All right.
Yeah,
That one was 150. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So for $5, that's a
yeah. And
steal.
it's just like the one that I'm wearing. It's made by Nike, and it's got that no sweat kind of material. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, the other way that you can actually go and let's see if I could pull Brownsville Tech Live. Brownsville Tech Live. You can go to Brownsville Tech Live e-magazine as well
Uh huh.
on your phone, and you can go directly as well there. And well, we got so many videos now; it's not even funny. You can go directly to the donate section as well, and do the same thing directly.
All right. Well, there's multiple ways of doing it then.
Very multiple ways of doing it. It's perfectly secure in both ways. This is the easiest way instead of asking people to give numbers or to hand out, cash or having to chase people for cash. You just do it electronically. It's perfectly safe, and away you go. You know,
Do you
and
get a roster with a list of names?
yeah, 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 yeah. So we'll know a
So
list, and then
we
we're
got
gonna.
about a month.
We got about a month, and on that day we're gonna have a little spin wheel online, and we'll do the drawing online, and people will see exactly where they land.
Would it would it be the first one, 10th one, or has that not been resolved yet?
As far as what?
The spin. The first person.
First one. It's on the first shot. Yeah.
Cool.
So
So regardless of how many entries is going to happen on September 10th.
no, no, that's
Oh,
something I need to clarify. We are looking at 50 entries. If we don't get to 50, then we will extend the drawing until we get to 50.
oh wow.
Yeah. Now, what you're not limited on is how many times you can buy a donation. So if you want to buy two two spins, you got 2 spins. 3 spins, three
Or so let's
spins.
just say I want to buy four. Do I have to do it 4 different times?
4 different times.
Oh,
4 different times. It's easier that way because it we do see that, I mean, you could do it either way, but it's easier for us to see it 4 different times. And you'll have the name there 4 times.
4 different times.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So even at $20, it's a steal. So, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's the deal there. So let me erase. Let me take this phone from the screen, and we'll go back to the regular screen. So that's that. I just wanted to mention that because I think there was a little bit of confusion. And by the way, you can't scan the barcode directly inside the phone. You either have to use another phone or go directly to Kofi.com Brownsville Tech Live. So I just want to let people know that because I had a few people ask me, I can't scan it. Well, yeah, you can't scan it because you have to use another
Right.
device to do it. So All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what this show's about. So once again, it's preseason week 1 matchup preview, and basically, as you know, tomorrow is the preseason game 1. It starts at 4 p.m. Central, and I know you
Yes,
corrected me.
sir.
I know you corrected me earlier. For some reason the Cowboys site had them on the CBS affiliates, but I think you mentioned that it may be held on Fox. So for
Based
anybody,
on what I've seen, it says Fox.
yeah.
All right, you say it says CBS, so I just will be flipping channels and see which one it comes on.
Well, down here you literally have to flip because it depends which station stays up and which stays down. So so we'll see which one it is, but
Right.
23-2 and 40. What is it? What's the Fox one on? What's the
Six.
6?
I don't know.
Okay, it's still a little further down, but anyway, our
Or maybe even the Spanish channel will host it.
sí, para ver los vaqueros
No se te olvide,
y
también
los
ellos,
jaguars,
yes, you know,
y
so, what?
tienen que ir al Walmart para comprar cosas al Walmart.
Sí, sí, sí,
And not only that,
la taquiza
yeah, not only that,
para prender el bote.
you can go to Bukis now in Matamoros.
Ay, sí, 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 don't forget about it, hey.
Oh my gosh, we're sounding like white people now. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, here we go. So let's go ahead and talk about, the Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, they've had several matchups. They're actually a total of 8 matchups since 1997. And they are actually tied with 4 wins on each side. So it's not the first time they meet. And right now they're tied 4-4. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be 5-4. So
Hopefully.
hopefully, right? So that's really the matchups. Like I said, they've been having them since 1997. So, alrighty. Well, as some of you know, there is a breakdown of 53 men on the final roster. And I was trying to get a breakdown of what that consisted of, right? And so one of the things that it consists of is a couple of positions. And by the way, it doesn't equal 50 for you math people out there. I have no idea where I'm missing 3, but it doesn't matter at this point. I just wanted to give a breakdown. So I'm not in it for math consistency. So basically, it consists of 2 quarterbacks, right? And as you know, Dak Prescott is the starting quarterback, and followed by Cooper Rush. There's Will, what is it, Grier or something like that?
Something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. So you've got 4 running backs, 6 wide receivers, 3 tight ends, 9 offensive linemen, 9 defensive linemen, 7 linebackers, and 2 defensive backs. And that's the final breakdown. Right now, the roster is 93, 90 or
And this
90
is as a preseason, right?
because of preseason. So this is tomorrow is an opportunity for all these young bucks that got drafted or were signed up to actually prove themselves. Obviously, there has been one cut, by the way, and that is uh, Tristan Viciano. He used to be the
The
kicker,
pun,
the
yeah.
kicker, and so he's out. He's been replaced by, and we'll talk about this at the end. He was replaced by a player from the USFL, Brian Audrey. So I'll get his name right here eventually. But there has been one cut. As you know, Ronald Jones has been suspended for taking drug enhancements. So he's out for a couple of games as well. So, alrighty. So we'll take a look at the offense, what that depth chart is right now. And basically, there you've got a quarterback, Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush, and then you've got Will Grier. On the running back side, you've got Tony Pollard, and followed by Rico Dowdy. And we'll talk about all of these guys a little bit about some of these guys and what they're up against. Wide receivers, definitely C.D. Lamb is solid. Brandon Cooks, which is a wide receiver that was snatched from the Texans earlier this year, he's solid. Gallup is solid. On the tight ends, you've got Jake Ferguson, Peyton Hendershot, and hold on, I can't see that well. Peyton, wait, did I say Peyton Hendershot?
Yes.
Did I say Jake Ferguson?
No.
Okay, all right. Then you've got Tyler Smith and Tyler Blad
You got
Glass.
you got Tyler Smith twice.
Yeah, he was on there twice for whatever reason. Yeah, he's on there twice, unless it's a different Tyler Smith. And then you've got Zach Martin. All right, and Zach Martin's the holdout. He's the one playing.
Right. He's the one that is gonna end up paying a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
So he's holding back, and then you've got Terrence Steele. And then on the defense side, you've got these other guys: Demarcus Lawrence, Jonathan Hankins, and we'll talk a little about Mozzie Smith in a little bit. Then you've got these other guys: Osa Odizua, Dorrance Armstrong, Micah Parsons,
there we go.
big opportunity for him this year. Leighton Vander Etch, Stephen Gilmore, Trayvon Diggs, Dayron Bland, Donovan Wilson, Ron Curse, and Malik Hooker. And then in the special teams, as I mentioned, Brandon Aubrey is the kicker, and then you've got Brian Enger, Trent Slag, Brian Enger. I don't know why I've got him twice. I guess it depends on the position he's going to play in.
He's the holder and the punter.
And the puncher, correct? Yeah. And same thing with the Turpin.
Right.
So what do we expect? Well, the biggest change is that Mike McCarthy, obviously he's the head coach, right? That's not the biggest change. He's been there since I think 2020 or something like that.
Right.
Will be calling out the plays for the first time as head coach. What's his name? Keller Moore was the offensive coordinator, and up until last year, he was actually doing all the play calls. So that they basically fired. Well, some say he got fired. Some say he left on his own. But bottom line is
Right.
he's no longer the OC coordinator, and the current coordinator Brian Schottheimer is no longer going to be calling out plays. It's going to be totally Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy has been calling out the plays before. Recently, the last time he did that was back when he was head coach of Green Bay back in 2018. And of course, as I mentioned, Broughton Schottenheimer, he's just going to be assisting from the coaching booth, but he's not going to be calling out the plays by any means whatsoever. So it puts him back in the position he was in before. As I mentioned, to the Space Cowboy last week, you know, he's kind of putting his neck out more on the line because obviously for anything the offense does or doesn't do, he's either going to get praised or blamed. So it's not like he can blame Schottenheimer or even Kellen Moore
Right.
any longer, right? So I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he has a history of winning, so maybe it's the right thing to do for him. So that's going to be something definitely different from the past, no doubt about that.
Now,
So,
was this something that Jerry Jones told him to do, or do we know?
well, I think Jerry Jones is probably at this point, and I'm not going to say desperate, but he's just eager for a Super Bowl win, and I guess maybe they had a heart-to-heart talk and finally said, you know what, let me make the plays. I according to Jerry Jones, from what I was reading earlier, he's gone back and says, "Oh no, well I always meant to have him do the plays, but that's not the way it started, right?" So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
so now of course he's saying, "Oh yeah, yeah, I always meant for that to happen, right?" So I guess he's just trying to put a spin on things, so I don't know. I don't know whether it's just they had a talk and he basically told them, hey, if you want a Super Bowl, let me call out the plays. So what do you have to lose? You got nothing to
Right.
lose, So, it's not like this guy's Barry Switzer or anything like that, right? So, and I mean, let's Barry Switzer wasn't a bad coach, but you know, he takes a lot of heat. So, all right. So basically, what they've coined now is called the Texas Coast Offense, and it's really nothing new. It's basically once again, it's the West Coast Offense, with a few things that they've kept from this past season. But what it basically does, it's a mixture of the scheme that they ran under Moore last year, and they're adding principles of the West Coast offense. And for those old timers like ourselves that remember in the 1980s, that this West Coast offense is what originated with Bill Walsh, who used to be the head coach for the San Francisco 49ers and that old
Yes,
rivalry.
sir.
And obviously, when Walsh retired, George Seifert, which was the head coach after Bill Walsh, kept the same offense. But basically, what it relies, and I made a typo there, it relies on short pass plays and it replaces the running game. Um, and basically, what it consists of is having, your wide receivers, your tight end, and your running backs all going in a forward position. And basically you release all five players into the pattern. So that's really the bulk of it. I mean, there were some other explanations online of different variations of this, but that's really what it boils down to. So you're going to see this Texas Coast offense in full view, hopefully tomorrow. You know, so
Hopefully.
hopefully, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But basically, the big question that everybody has is whether Dak Prescott is going to start or not, or is it going to be
Well,
Coop?
we all know tomorrow it ain't gonna be him.
No, I mean you definitely don't want to put him out, in preseason. God forbid something happens.
No. All right.
No,
So tomorrow, I think will be Hooper Rush.
yeah, I believe it will be Cooper Rush, and maybe in the second half, I think Cooper Rush will start the first half, and I think they're going to get Will Grier to make some plays in the next half after that. But yeah, definitely,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't look like Prescott is going to actually play tomorrow. And by the way, for anybody that is watching, the chat lines are open. So if anybody who is a follower and has some additional information that they may not see here, or even if they disagree with anything that's said,
Right.
feel free to chime in. I will say that I still do control what's seen on the screen. So if you decide to be nasty, you're not going to get any airtime. And for any of those porn stars that tried to get on the show the last time, ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry. So go somewhere else. But basically, yeah, I don't think Prescott will make any intent to play anything tomorrow. So, uh, but obviously, there are some young bucks that obviously have something to prove tomorrow. Otherwise, they're not gonna make the roster, right? And
Right.
of course, as we mentioned, there's no doubt that Tony Pollard is going to be the starting running back, and it looks like Rico Dowdy is probably going to be secondary. But there's a couple of other guys that are actually you know also in the running. There's big talk about Deuce Vaughn. So we're gonna see how he performs tomorrow. There's some big expectations on him to produce, so it'll be interesting. There's Malik Davis, of course, and there's this guy Hunter Lupke. I was reading, one of the things about reading about all these, going through some of these articles is every writer seems to have their favorite player. And so there was one guy that was saying, "Oh no, you got to watch out for this guy." I've never heard of this guy. I've never seen this guy, so I don't know what he's about. But this guy definitely, there's a lot of talk that he's probably gonna take the next slot. But Who knows? It'll be interesting. This guy, I'm not so sure. There was only one guy that was saying that it was, this guy had an opportunity, but I'm not sure about that. So, you know,
Well, we'll see how they do tomorrow.
we'll see how they do tomorrow, right? So, but these guys they've got to prove something tomorrow and over their game two and game three, because eventually they're going to be cut, right? So, but the next obviously is the wide receivers. I mean, there's no doubt that CeeDee Lamb is the starting receiver, and Brandon Cooks. Is it Cooks or Brooks? Brandon Cooks? Uh,
Close, isn't it?
Cooks.
The
Yeah,
Texan?
Cooks. Yeah, the Texan. There's no doubt
Yeah.
that, they're solid, but definitely there's a couple of other receivers, that are in play. Is Jalen Tolbert. We've got this guy, Kevon Turpin. Heard a lot about
But
him.
Turpin was on last year, and he was the special teams
Yeah.
return guy.
Well, apparently he's going for that spot as well. I think if we go back to the chart, I think he's on there on the
Yeah,
depth
he's
chart.
on there as a return guy.
Is he? I thought I saw him as a
Yes.
thought I saw him as a wide receiver, as a
So,
receiver.
well, he's on there as a wide receiver also. That's why I'm
Yeah,
confused. Are they
yeah,
going to use him for both?
probably. Squeeze him for as much as you have him. There's been a lot of talk about this guy, Fahoko.
Who is
Um,
he?
I don't know. I for a while there I couldn't even spell his name. I had to the first two shows I was trying to deal with his name, but um, he's also another guy, and of course Jalen Brooks. So it'll be interesting to see which one of these guys runs away with the pack from the pack, so to speak. Um, so you've got the wide receivers there, and of course defensive tackle. You know, all eyes were on Mozzie Smith, but something happened in training camp. Nobody's saying what happened, but the only thing they did say is that the MRI had to be taken of his head. So I assume that he hit his head somehow. I guess a concussion. So
Mm.
basically, that means that he may be out for a while, and that leaves Jonathan Hankins to take up the slack. So, but yeah, definitely there was a lot of hope and promise on this guy, and but now with this injury, not sure what's going to happen. You know, so it'll be interesting. And then of course the defensive ends, you've got Dante Fowler and Chauncey Goldston. An article that I was reading today said that this guy's got to produce. So um, we'll see. We'll see how he does if he plays tomorrow. And then linebackers and cornerbacks to look out for tomorrow is DeMarvian Overshawn, which is a linebacker. Eric Scott, cornerback. Kelvin Joseph, cornerback. And Jabril Cox also. And this guy apparently during training camp, I was reading that he's really had it bad, so he's probably already on the way out. And this guy apparently shined pretty good in training camp, but from what I was hearing, this guy is pretty much a goner unless he
Wow.
gets to play and performs miracles. But basically, they say he's out. So, and of course, the big thing is the kicker. As you know, this guy used to be the kicker, Tristan
Uh
Vizcaino,
huh.
and he was let go. Apparently, he did really horrible during training camp. Who knows how many kicks he missed, but it wasn't good. And as a result of that, they settled on Brandon Aubrey for now. The
Wow.
articles that I was reading today, some of the articles that talked about the situation, say that while this guy was chosen, he's not a for sure. There are other players out there that they may sign up. This guy did play for the USFL, so but definitely this guy had a bad training camp, and they finally cut him loose. I don't know how old he was. I thought he was a little an older player too. This guy's fairly young. I think he's like 21, and this guy was like 29. So it was maybe it was a no brainer. They wanted to get the old guy out. Of course, 29 for guys like us is young, right? But
Yeah, but
it's
remember, this is football.
it's football. So definitely, it was not a good week for this guy. Definitely not. So we'll see how this guy does. You know, hopefully he doesn't miss any field goals. You know, that would not be good.
No, it wouldn't.
And we like field goals at times.
Yeah. Apparently, that's all it's or at times.
So, so that's really the entire lineup. The expectations for tomorrow. So, are you going to watch the game tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Eh? At Fox or CBS or wherever, I'll be home.
Or
All right.
Univision, or
Univision,
your
hey,
high
I
definition
will be
antenna.
home. All right. You
You gotta
know,
you gotta pop in your Starlink your Starlink satellite dish.
I don't have starting, sir. I don't
You
have starting.
don't?
Sorry. All right. Yeah.
I thought you
No.
were into that in crowd like the St. Joe Mafia. You know they all have Starlink internet service, and they run around in Teslas. You know.
No, no. Sorry. No Chestnut here. No starting.
No,
All
you don't
right.
want to be in the
No,
in
no.
crowd. You know.
No, no, no. Hey, you know, I'm my own crowd, sir. All right.
You're
Huh?
not an
My
orange ticket
own.
holder like Erasmo says that everybody
No,
is.
no, no, no.
Well, I was lucky. A few maybe what's the 4th of July. I actually was an orange ticket holder.
How'd you manage that?
Well, my daughter sung the national anthem at the 4th of July thing.
See, so you took advantage of your daughter's. Um,
No,
wow,
no,
wow.
no,
All
I
right.
didn't. I didn't. You know, I've worked very hard to make sure she gets to where she's got to go. So
Oh, so you're taking credit for it? No, 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 no,
well,
no. Oh
there's,
well, well. So how was it? How was that other side?
huh?
How was the other side?
Well, it was all right. The problem is I honestly didn't know anybody besides one or two city commissioners. And
One or two?
there was only there was two. Actually, there was three there. There was Roy de los Santos, which that I'm very very familiar with, and of course Brian Martinez and Rose Gowan. Rose Gowan. I think she had a broken leg or something like that. So, but she came out there.
What happened to the other person?
What other person?
The other commissioner.
No, there was only the three of them. The others were
Oh
out of town.
wow.
Yeah, the others were out of town, but you know, uh, got to talk to Roy for a little bit. Took a picture. I think you saw the picture.
Yes, I saw that. It was posted all over Facebook.
I know. I took some heat for it too.
Really? From?
You don't want to know. You know how these people
All
are.
right, all right. We'll just leave it at that. Hey,
Después
going
a
back to the
todos.
Cowboys.
Uh,
Hey, I hear they are still interested in a former Cowboy.
oh
You know,
gosh, Elliott,
have you heard? Yeah.
Zeke Elliott, or
Uh huh.
well, there is talk about that, but you know, what the whole deal was. I mean, they got the guy for $90 million. Okay, he was the highest ever obtained running back. The problem is that the market value of a running back is only 10 million. So Tony Pollard and a few other running backs around the league only have $10 million contracts. So if he were to come back, he would have to settle for a pay cut. You know, I mean, would he do it? I don't know.
Well, are you pay huh, in reference to no job?
Well, it's not like the guy has to go on the unemployment line. He's still going to get
Well,
paid
you
for.
know.
Oh, come on. I mean, it's not like he's going to go on unemployment, in a couple of weeks. I mean, he's probably got some money, and he was what on his last or second to last year of his contract. It wasn't like
Yes.
a very long contract, so you hope that most of these guys have managed their money in such a way that they've got some for a rainy day. But some of these guys, they blow their money as fast as they get it. You know, I mean,
or faster.
or faster. I know what that's like. So but I don't make the millions that these guys do. But yeah, I mean, I've heard the stories. I've heard the rumors going back and forth. But maybe depending on what happens the first couple of weeks of the season may dictate what happens. Zach Martin, he's just being a little sourpuss. I don't know what he thought. He thought, well, maybe if he could, hold out, you know, maybe, like I told you earlier, if they want to be like the flower petal girl, you know what the flower petal girl is, right?
Yes, yes.
It's the
All
little
right.
girl that says, he loves me, he loves me not. And so Zach Martin is saying, Jerry Jones loves me, he loves me not. Loves me, he loves me not. But he found out pretty quickly that Jerry Jones didn't love him and got rid of him. So I don't know. And then, of course, why would you want to go back to a place you got fired from? I mean, come on. Nobody does that, you know. But if nobody signs him up, well, maybe he'll come back begging. But then, of course, it's not going to be for 90 million. I'll tell you that much. I
Nope.
wouldn't. I wouldn't
Nope.
pay him 90 million. And like I said, Zach Martin's stupid. I mean, he should have already made up his mind what he wanted to do. You know, because
Yep.
I don't think
Has
anybody's going to pick
how
him
much
up.
is it in fines that he has to pay already?
I don't know. I don't know what those fines are, but hopefully he's got the money to cover it. You know.
Apparently, it was already in the six figures. I'm like,
Wow.
wow.
Wow. Wow. Well, hopefully he can. He's got the money to pay it, or he can take it as a tax loss or some kind of loss on his
I don't
taxes.
know
That
how that works.
I don't know. He's got to find one of Trump's accountants and a lawyer. So,
Don't even go there.
ay ay ay. But anyway, once again, for those of you that didn't see the first time around, we've got this jersey that we're actually going to have a drawing on September 10th. That's obviously if we get to 50 entrants. It's very simple. You just go to the kofi.com/Brownsville Tech Live and make a $5 donation. If you do, make sure that you type in your full name, and in the message box, you also type in your email address and your shirt size. If you do not type your full name and you don't type your shirt size and you don't type your email address, the entry is invalid and your $5 will be returned. So there is no limit to how many times you can purchase a spot on the drawing. So if you want to buy more than one, you can do so. Just make it individual $5 donations so that we can see that they're individual. And during the drawing, you'll have five color spaces on the spin wheel. So we're going to have it live. And like I said, if we don't get to 50, then we'll push out the drawing further into the next couple of weeks in the season. But we definitely want to have 50 because that is a solid amount. It wouldn't be fair if only 10 people participated and 9 of those were the same person.
Hey. What's wrong with that?
No, come on,
Hey, I was planning on doing that, man.
I know. Everybody's got to have a fair shot
I
to
was
win.
gonna put Hash Brown. I was gonna put Phantasma. I was gonna put Moa. I was gonna put Valerie, Victoria, Steven, Nancy. See, hey,
Yeah? No?
well,
No, no. Well, that basically was tonight's show. Like I said, tomorrow's going to be a big day. It's going to be game one of preseason. Like we mentioned, everybody, it is going to be at 4 p.m. Central Time. And it's still unknown whether it's going to be on the Fox channel or the CBS channel or the Univision channel. or the NASA channel. We don't know where it's going
Right,
to be
right.
yet.
But it will be on
It
TV.
it will be on, so we'll be watching tomorrow, and
And
hope
don't forget, La Pitada if we win.
that's right. Well, one of the things we're gonna
Eh?
do, I'll tell everybody right now, is one of these days, on one of the game days, we will do a live of a pitada. We will do that.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
gonna go back to the old neighborhood. You and I are from Southmost, so it would only be
Yes,
right to
sir.
have to go
Yes, sir.
cover La Pitada, and hopefully, we'll get to do that soon. We probably won't be able to do it
You.
tomorrow, but we'll get to do it soon. There's a little bit of equipment that I've got to haul around to make a live stream happen mobily. So, we just got to prepare for that. But I did think about it. It's just that I think I have a
Hey.
little bit more equipment to haul. So,
All right, but that would be a good thing. Hey, go live, man. I think it would be awesome.
yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, you know what? Jessica Tetreau went on a pitada a while
I
back.
didn't know that.
Yeah, she did. She actually went on a pitada a while back. So, you know, but oh well.
Cool.
You know.
Hey,
But
awesome.
anyway,
Well,
anyway,
all I have to say is go Cowboys.
that's right. That's right. You know, make us proud tomorrow. You know, and to the space cowboy, you had your day off, so hopefully you got some goodies and presents. He also wants to. He's applying for the Dear Moon project, by the way.
The Dear Moon Project.
Are you familiar with the Dear Moon project?
No, I'm not.
It
Enlighten
is.
me.
Yeah, the Dear Moon project is a moon shot to the moon on one of the first or two starship launches to the moon when Starship eventually gets there. And there's a Japanese entrepreneur who has bought an entire space mission on one of the first Starship rockets, and they're going to send several civilian folks that want to take a rendezvous across the moon. So our space cowboy is highly thinking that he's going to try to apply for it. So
Oh, hey, well, good luck. Good
yeah,
luck.
right. Yeah. So I told him that we'd have to do a Brownsville Tech live from the moon if that happens. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, once again, everybody, this was our fourth episode. Uh, Steve was gracious enough to accept my invite to co-host today, and we definitely would like to see him more on. I know he's been on before, but he's busy. He says he's busy. So
Well, once again, Dan, I appreciate. It's always fun.
yeah,
It's always enjoyable to do these podcasts with you and the
yeah,
rest of the Spin Zone family.
yeah,
But remember, Bronzo Tech Live, spans over a vast majority of podcasts, all right?
yeah,
So if you view us on one, you view us on another, on any one that you view us, we really appreciate it. Well, my point is, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me on. You know, yes, work has consumed me,
yeah.
but hey, without work, we can't have fun.
Like
So,
you say,
you know,
not everybody can play like I do, right?
right. Right. I didn't want to say that, but hey, you said it yourself. Not everybody can play like Dan plays. So hey, all right, you know, some of
So
us actually have to go out there and work.
I know. I feel bad. I really do. You
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
I mean, I
So,
can't,
but you
I
know,
can't, I can't marry people by the hundreds like others can. But oh well. But anyway,
uh,
uh, as you mentioned, yes, Brownsville Tech Live spans across a lot of areas, and we've got a couple of things. Obviously, we're still doing SpaceX launches every time those happen. So we just had one last night, very late at 12 midnight. So we'll probably have a few more. But we've got Doug's Dugout. where we cover the Major League Baseball. Unfortunately, Doug's Redbirds have really done really bad. He's not very happy about that, but oh well. There's always next year, and we also have a new show, Live 270, which we're having every week. Our next show is scheduled for Thursday for anybody that's interested. We are going to look at the Republican Party presidential candidates. Believe it or not, the first Republican presidential debate is scheduled for this month, August 23rd. So everybody but Trump is actually participating at this point. So we're going to be looking at all the Republican candidates with regards to what to expect on the debate the following week. And then, of course, next month we've got Doug back in the house. We've got the big September Apple event, and we anticipate that there's going to be a brand new iPhone, the iPhone
Yes,
15, being
sir.
released,
iPhone 15.
and possibly
That's what they're
maybe another
stating.
iPad. So we'll see what comes out of that, but that's going to be a big event also that we'll be covering. So Brownsville Tech Live, the original show, will be on to cover that as well. So, for those of you out there, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to go out there and sign up for the jersey drawing, and we will see you next time. Everybody, have a great weekend, and let's go Cowboys tomorrow.
Go Cowboys!